around early February to sort of coincide with the independence celebration. So let's have a look. It's the producer of the upcoming Grenada Fashion Weekend 2016. Well, that's actually from February 4th to 6th, 2016. Good morning, welcome to you.
Hi, good morning, good morning.
It is good to have you again.
Yes.
All right, so you were here recently. It's been since we last spoke.
I think it's been good actually in terms of that. You know, in all these productions such as these, you know, you're going to have these tweaking problems, these teaching problems and stuff. And you really have to know how to manage all of this in terms of getting to the ultimate goal of the final production of the event. But this weekend, you know, we're working towards preparing and seeing what Grenada has in terms of their model stock. And this is open really for amateur models, experienced models, and anyone who feel they have a potential to be part of this production in terms of that, the sponsors and as well as production assistants and stuff, because we're looking for volunteers towards the productions. So I've been behind the scenes in terms of regionally, internationally, in terms of building the momentum for this event and to come home to Grenada for the weekend. I mean, funny as it may seem, and some of my travels actually promoting the island and the experience that we're promoting as a fashion weekend. The response has been very positive, and we already have a few bookings already for 2016 event here.
Right, that's good. So you're talking about bookings from...
Bookings from the designers, bookings from spectators, media, and in terms of people who have an interest in terms of taking the brand of fashion from a Caribbean perspective outside of Grenada and coming to see exactly what Grenada has to offer. So, you know, I've just been back from Geneva, France with regards to working along with, they had to present a paper in terms of the environment as well as all of that part of it. But then also there was also the sub-meetings that also included some aspects of the development of the regions in terms of sensitization and fabric, textiles, and that also related to fashion. So we were involved in that kind of aspect, and it was very positive in terms of that. And there I had the opportunity of networking and speaking with a few people who had great interest in coming to the Caribbean.
Great. All right, so there'll be a model casting on Saturday, right?
Yes.
But before we get to that, just tell us, in terms of this fashion weekend, February 4th to 6th, now that's close to our independence, of course.
Yes,
I guess that was
and that's the reason why we did it that way, because it really is independence in terms of a gift to the Grenadians for that weekend itself.
Right, great. So what would this mean for models, craft people, all these people? What are we hoping that at the end of this weekend these people would get out of this?
You see, and I like the question you're giving, because that's exactly it. Because what Grenada doesn't have is a showcase platform in the structure of a fashion weekend that the region and internationally can tag as a tourism item event that they can look to in terms of the interested industry people can come to. So now this is what we're actually preparing, and then what we're doing, we're sensitizing the whole creative aspect of it, of how that they should come forward to present themselves in this market. Following that, this show is not just a showcase platform. You have the opportunity of actually selling your product and your business in Grenada as well as in the regionally, internationally. So there are structures in place that when we meet with the designers, we are going to unfold exactly how this going to be, how it's going to take place. So even designers who don't have a brick and mortar to sell their products and standardize their brand, shipping their brand, exporting their brand, this show is exactly going to be helping you to do that part of it as well.
Right. Oh, so there are a lot of economic benefits there.
Definitely, and also in the aspects of models, and there are also opportunities that we are also networking on to get opportunities for the models that are in Grenada, to get them out of Grenada, to get opportunities for them outside of Grenada. So it's not just a situation where we're casting for models to take place in the show and then it's all over for the models. We are also creating opportunities for them as well that we're going to talk about to the models who are selected for this process.
What are some of the fundamental things you'll have to say to like these models, because they're in Grenada where, you know, they may be doing their little thing, but there's not much exposure that you'll get here as when you venture out, you get the opportunity to break out into the wider world. So what are some of the things you'll have to look for just to ensure that they stay ahead of the game?
I think the first thing that they have to actually learn to fall in love with who they are as a people. I think that's what you need to bring to the table. Bring yourself and the industry people have their way. They are going to be able to tweak you and mold you into something that is going to be appreciative on an international scale, but not losing a sense of self. I think what happens to most of the models in the Caribbean, we tend to give up who we are and try to superimpose to become something on an international level. When you go internationally and you're modeling internationally, what they actually attract to you because of your ability to stay true to your stuff. In terms of Ariana Francis, I mean, a sense of natural. I mean, that is one of her most driving points in the industry abroad. So let's just say if that wasn't the case, and you look to put in a perm or put in a relaxer and that kind of thing, and then you find you look normal like every other foreign girl. You know, you look at Alec Weck, you look at the girl who pretty much is I can't remember her name escapes me right now, but she pretty much has been dominating a lot of the cover of the magazine in terms of the dark face, and blackface girls are actually making a lot of inroads now. So the talk that Naomi Campbell was the only one, and Tara Banks was the only one and stuff, you're finding the little nudges, the little doors opening in terms of that. And this is our process here to bring forward the Caribbean models and get them to our platform and our structure so that they can be seen on a regionally, even international level. Because we do have the contacts. What we're trying to do is not come and say, well, we're looking for this person, we're looking for that person. And we're not saying what our contacts have. We want to see what potential Grenada has, and it's not about your experience we're looking for. We're looking natural, rough diamond person that we can take and develop into something that can represent your country.
But from what you've seen so far, Grenada has the potential?
Of course, that's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason. I always believe that Grenada has the potential to do well regionally and internationally, because that's my strong belief. I've been here more than a decade, and I've always seen the beautiful women and the skin, the texture of the people. And the only thing I think Grenadians need to actually do, they need to believe in themselves a little more, because they have what it is. It's not that we tend to sugarcoat everything on an international level and feel you have to have so much more. You just have to bring the natural element, and you put yourself in an environment where someone can actually develop you. Sometimes you have people who have set up organizations and bodies who may not have the experience and the know-how. You know what I'm saying? But it's not only about contacts. You really have to develop a person and understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and build them up to become that potential. And also, it's a mindset. You must have that mindset. Right. It's so very important to survive on an international level, because you have to go into casting calls, you have to beat the cold, you have to sometimes stay in an apartment with 4 or 5 persons with different personalities. You have to be able to get up on time, make all your casting calls, you're booked between shoots, you have runway shows to do. So it's not about something that you relax. This is something that's a passion. If you really want to do it and you really want to fall in love in getting this opportunity, yes. And then I want to also say, age is not a factor with women, because for some reason, I don't know if it's the sun, the sea, the sun, we don't look our ages when we line up next to international women. So it's always a plus for the Caribbean people that they don't look their ages, because you can call them in numbers and they're going to meet the number requirement, but the thing about it is that they don't look their age. That's one of the amazing things about Caribbean people.
Oh, that's great, man. All right, so let's talk about the model castings now on Saturday. That's at the True Blue Bay Resort?
That's correct.
All right, so give us about that. It's from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's from 3 to 6 p.m. You have the opportunity to actually turn up there. You have your registration forms. All the models have already applied via the email system. And again, you can still apply, or if not, if you're not able to apply, you can still come down. It's from 3 p.m. You have your registration form, you have your registration fee, and then also to you're parading before a panel of judges in your own swimwear of choice. So if you're comfortable in a full swimsuit, if you're comfortable in a two-piece, if you're comfortable in a bikini, it's your choice. For the guys, it's pretty much just a swim trunks and a vest. Pretty much we're just looking to see your sensitivity. And please, I want most of the guys to know that there are now much more equal opportunities for males out there in the market than as well as women now. The business has actually grown and expanded. So don't just seem to think that this is only for it's taboo, it's for a woman thing and stuff. There are great opportunities out there that we're going to be talking to the models about and getting them the opportunities once they have the ability to get there.
And are we looking for a certain number in terms of male, female, and because you're also looking for children?
Yes,
right?
because some of the designers have expressed that they have interest in showcasing children crews. And If we have some designers who are coming out of the region who's going to be showing and who will be showcasing some of that as well. So one of the things that we're trying to do is to see what model stock is able to come from here. We're also going to be including some models from the region, out of Jamaica, out of Trinidad, out of St. Kitts, out of Canada, who will be here. However, we can't invite until we reach the required amount in Grenada. So if we find that we haven't reached the required amount, then we're going to invite the others to make up the required amount. But we want to give Grenada the full-on first preference to actually meet the required amount first, which will determine who we'll invite.
Okay. And so I guess it's a process where you choose people.
Yeah.
Based
We
on
have a
how
conversation with you. You come in, you tell us your name. We get a conversation with you. We get to know who you are as a person. We ask you to do a little work. We gotta get a feel of who you are as a person in terms of that. And as we get a rapport going. It's not a situation where you're gonna feel nervous, and we're gonna make you feel very comfortable. And we're gonna work with you. It's not a process, okay, but you're just gonna come and you may not have the experience and the ability. I think this is your passion. You come forward and do it, and don't be disappointed if it is you may not get through. I mean, the whole process is before anybody become a success, they always have to go through these trials, and even in this process, it is also a process.
Okay. So, but how soon will they know whether or not they've been chosen?
They'll know if they're chosen before the 12th, because on the 12th of December we would start releasing the names and the countries of the designers arriving. So we only have the window of between the 5th to the 10th to release those names who were selected.
Right.
And on the 12th we start releasing the designers' names.
Right. Okay, so I want to go back to something you previously about if they're passionate enough, they would make the time.
Yeah.
Do you think that some models, whether male or female, make the mistake of maybe seeing people on television and thinking, okay, I want to do this. They're seeing them on the runway, in the Victoria's Secret thing, and they think it's just a glamorous thing, but they're not seeing the behind-the-scenes activities, so that when reality hits them, they may either not make it, or they make it if they have the drive.
Right. But I think one of the things I wanted that even if people don't make it, we want to be able to tell them why they didn't make it. That's one of the first things that you want to tell someone, why they didn't make it, and where they can strengthen certain areas in themselves. Because many times, you do casting and they say you didn't make it, and you move on, focus on the ones who have. But it is important to understand that to see the whole picture, we tend to, in the media world, we mostly broadcast really the end product and never really the behind the scenes, the preparation behind what it really takes. And this is something that I want to actually always share with John and the models that takes place, because I do learn that with this production, that they're learning eventually what it really takes a level of consistency. You really have to fight through your comfort zone to meet deadlines. You have international and regional people who have already committed and signed on to be on board on this, and it is up to you to actually deliver. So if there's no days off, you really have to put the work in order to get the results that you want at the end of the day, because without that affects the production. So, and sitting as a producer, it is important for me to always emulate and project something like that. So with the models being chosen around me, it's important they're going to look based upon how I present myself, how I am able to develop the whole production. They're able to see what we would demand and what we'd expect from them. But it is because of the fact that I have the ability to be traveling around and having the opportunity to be around very well-known people in the industry, both regionally and internationally, it makes me always want to come home to encourage the people who are coming up to really what to do in order to get there, because that's so important, not only to get there but to stay there, because that's also a big challenge, because you can actually have a lot to get there, but it's really difficult to stay there. It's difficult to stay there, to stay on top, because the competition is so fierce. Because when you leave your region and you get international, it's the world fighting you for your spot, not just a few thousand people. It's the world. Yeah.
So it's very competitive.
Yes,
all right. So from the 4th to the 6th of February 2016.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, Florida Independence Weekend and all that. So just give us an idea of what.
All right. Well, designers and media crew, as well as other models, start arriving from the 3rd to the 4th. There's a media press conference. Again, on the 4th, the morning of the 4th, there's a cocktail party. The 4th, the evening of the 4th. The first runway show takes place on the 5th, which is the Friday, and that takes place at Aquarium. That's the runway show that takes place at Aquarium, and the final runway show takes place on the Saturday, which is the 5th. And then leave the Sunday for you all to celebrate the independence and to the Monday in terms of that. And then people who would like to stay on, and again, so it's all, and a lot of people are very excited to have the experience of Grenada. I mean, that's one thing I can get, and all they keep talking about is Granans and Sunsea Sand and all of it. It's one of the most popular spots that they talk to. I mean, I'm in Geneva and I'm talking about Grenans and the beaches in Grenans and the people in Grenans and the spices and everything else and the people. So these are the kinds of things that people want to see. I mean, when you're in that cold country, you know, all you want to see is Sunsea and sand, you know what I'm saying? So, and at that time of the year, why it is in February time, it's one of the coolest part in Europe part. So they're looking for that opportunity to
get away.
Okay, so this is also an opportunity for them to do that.
Great. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, I guess anybody reaching out to us, they can reach out to us via our email, which is grenadafashionweekend@gmail.com. Now, again, we're very open to volunteers, as well as everyone to come on board to make this event something that really is to warm it up and a selling point to sell Grenada beyond just Grenada, but regionally and internationally, because this is really getting as something that could be very, very promising for everyone involved, not just the models, not just the sponsors, not just the designers, but everyone involved in terms of that. And again, we welcome One Media tomorrow to cover it, because it's the media will also have the opportunity to show behind the scenes processes, which really helps that data feed of what we do in the whole run to the final event.
Thank you so much for coming.
I'm welcome for being here. Yes, I enjoy it.
Oh, great. So we've been speaking with Mr. Darren Atz. He's a producer of Grenada Fashion Week 2016. Now that will take place from February 4th to 6th, of course, around our Independence time. And as he mentioned, there'll be the model casting tomorrow at the True Blue Bay Resort. Now that takes place from 3 to 6 p.m. And what this is all about is just to ensure that we expose the talent in Grenada, whether models, designers, as possible to the world. We take a quick break. We'll be right back.